You already know something about reference frames. I talk about them in a lecture about classical mechanics. Cartesian coordinates, for example, are familiar to most people. A Cartesian frame has a set of spatial coordinates x, y, and z, and an origin. If you want to think concretely about what a coordinate system means, think of space as being filled up with a lattice of mattersticks, so that every point in space can be specified as being a certain number of meters to the left, a certain number of meters up, a certain number of meters in or out from the origin. So imagine like you have this space and there's this lattice, yeah, and we have this origin here, and we have like some certain meters. That's a coordinate system for space. It allows us to specify where an event happens. In order to specify when something happens, we also need time coordinate. A reference frame is a coordinate system for both space and time. It consists of x, y, z, and the axis. We can extend our notion of concreteness by imagining that there's a clock at every point in space. So you see this, there's a clock here. Like, imagine in every point. We also imagine that we have made sure that all the clocks are synchronized, meaning that they all read t equals 0 at the same instant. This is sync. Does a reference frame, or we just call it RF for simplicity, is a real or imagined lattice of mattersticks together with a synchronized set of clocks at every point. There are many ways to specify points in space and time. Of course, which means we can have different RF. We can translate the origin x like this origin, y, z, t equals 0. We can translate to some other point, so that the location in space and time is measured relative to the new origin. We can also rotate the coordinates from one orientation to another. Finally, we consider frames that are moving relative to some particular frame. We can speak of your frame, my frame, and here we come to a key point. Besides the coordinate axis and the origin, a reference frame may be associated with an observer who can use all those clocks and mattersticks to make measurements. Let's assume you are sitting still at the center of the front row in the lecture hall. The lecture hall is filled with matterstick and clock at rest in your frame. Every event that takes place in the room is assigned a position and a time by your sticks and clocks. I'm also in the lecture hall, but instead of standing still, I move around. So, like this. Yeah. Imagine this is the lecture hall. This is you standing still, but I move around. So obviously, at every I might much pass you moving to the left or right, and as I do, I carry my lattice of clocks and matchsticks with me. At every instant, I'm at the center of my own space coordinate. So I have my own space coordinate, and you are at the center of yours. This is your space coordinate. Obviously, my coordinates are different from yours. You specify an even by. You have x, y, z, and t, and I specify the same even by a different set of coordinates in order to account for the fact that I may be moving past you. In particular, if I am moving along the x-axis relative to you, so imagine like this is you, and I moving along x-axis, yeah. We won't agree about our x-coordinates. I will always say that the end of my nose is at, let's say, x equal 5, meaning that is 5 inches in front of the center of my head. However, you will say my nose is not x at 5, you will say my nose is moving, so not equal 5. And that's his position change with time. I might also scratch my nose at t equal 2. Okay. By which I mean that the clock at the end of my nose indicates 2 seconds into the lecture when my nose was scratched. You might be tempted to think that your clock will also read t equal 2 at the point where my nose was scratched. But that's exactly where relativistic physics departs from Newtonian physics. The assumption that all clocks in all frames of reference can be synchronized seems intuitively obvious, but it conflicts with Einstein's assumption of relative motion and the universality of the speed of light. We'll soon elaborate on how and to what extent clocks at different places in different reference frames can be synchronized, but for now we will just assume that at any given instant of time, all of your clocks agree with each other, and they agree with my clocks. In other words, we temporarily follow Newton and assume that the time coordinate is exactly the same for you as it for me, and there's no ambiguity resulting from our relative motion.